Oh,
What's the matter?
I'm just tired. Um, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night because one of the things that they gave me during my chemo yesterday was a steroid. And I said, it's not prednisone, is it? And they're like, no. And I said, well, that's good because prednisone does weird things to your body. It, rearranges your fat cells. That's the last thing I need.
So how did it go?
What?
The chemo yesterday.
Oh, it was fine. Actually, actually, it was kind of fun.
Fun?
Well, yeah, I mean, I met new friends, some of the other patients, and yeah, I made all the nurses laugh, and it was, yeah, it was fine. I'll tell you about it, but
Well, you are kind of a blabbermouth.
well, I know, but I do know how to listen to people's stories. All right, I met a couple of veterans. I'll tell you about it. I just got, that's why I'm so tired. I just got back from an Aldi haul. I bought all the meat, all the vegetables, a bunch of stuff that I was running low on. And so my cart was like overflowing. And a gal ahead of me just had a few items. And I'm like, good thing you got here before me. I shop once a month. And believe it or not, I live alone. This is all my stuff. So anyway, I got to go unload the truck. It's a good thing I've got a truck, right?
You betcha. You go, boy.
Yep. Okay. I'll be back.
Wow, Jim seems to be doing pretty well.
Well, yeah. I mean, like so far. Hmm? Huh?
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh.
What's wrong now?
Well, I had to unload everything out of my truck and bring it in and put, the perishables away. Like all the eight of these. This was nothing but produce. Okay, so I've got a big Samsung fridge, right? But I still had to do Jenga, to get stuff to fit in there. And this is the universal symbol for Jenga. I don't know if you knew that.
So what did they give you?
Well, yeah, they sent me home with this, which I put in the pocket of my sweatshirt as I'm going through Aldi, hoping people weren't noticing like the weird cord hanging out. But yeah, so they sent me home with this, and they sent me home with this really cool swag bag. Like there's a lot of really cool, weird, interesting stuff in there. I'm going to do that a little bit later. But yeah, so today is the day after chemo, right? It's Thursday, and people at work, my team, I wanted to join the meeting today, even though I took all day today off as vacation because I knew I had to go shopping and stuff. But I missed our team meeting. I wanted to, and it went past me. But so anyway, sorry you guys. But just to let you know, I'm doing fine for right now. Okay, now, so this morning, 8 o'clock. No, yesterday, 8 o'clock. Walked into the clinic, and I'm walking into the clinic, and I see this gigantic thing like coming down, and it landed in the overflow parking. So I went over there, and I'm like, "Yo, dudes, what up?" And they're like, "Eh?" And so a couple of them came out. One guy had, "We are bringing new technology to your planet, and we hope this will help your race somehow." And I'm like, Zeta Reticuli, right? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, that checks out. Should we give this to your oncologist or your really nice nurse, Madison? I'm like, give it to Madison. She's cool. She knows what to do with it. She'll be the one to poke it in my third nipple, right? So they gave me this pump. One of you left a comment saying I've got the same thing, and the way it works is it's a thing. It's a weird it's hard to describe. It's a thing attached to a thing. This is the flow regulator, 5 milliliters per hour. And then it goes into another thing attached to my, this is kind of a funny story. This was the last thing they did after my chemo, all right? So I've got like bags hanging on an IV, and each bag takes like an hour, blah, blah, blah. This was the last thing they did. So Madison came in. She's like, all right, they gave me this. No, she didn't talk like that. But so she hooked it up, and it's weird because the way it works is there's the first thing it connects to is a temperature sensor attached to my stomach. And Madison is like, okay, so we have to figure out where to put this. And I said, well, it would make sense to do it like above my ab. The lady sitting next to me, and we had been kind of joking around before then, so she kind of knew. And the lady getting chemo next to me, she's like, did you mean like a 6-pack, abs? And I'm like, no, 6 of them. That sounds like a lot of work. I've been working on one, although a 6-pack, when you're in the desert and you want to do laundry, you just take your t-shirt and dip it in soapy water and you just go, and she laughed. So that's the kind of stuff, But anyway, temperature sensor. And I thought it was weird that once we figured out where to put all this stuff, Madison was like, and I thought it was weird that she was using duct tape, but no, I'm kidding. Temperature sensor to make sure it's still attached, right? So it's not like wherever. Then the pump is almost like it's skinny. It's like a pencil kind of, and there has to be a battery in there because it's actually pumping out, and a timer. It delivers. I can tell when it delivers because I've got certain side effects that I'm going to talk about next. So the pump, then that goes up to another connector, and that goes up to another connector, and then it goes into my third nipple, my power port. Okay, so try sleeping with this. What do you do? And that's why I only got 4 hours of sleep. It's like, I wake up and it's like, right? And I'm afraid that I don't know if I kinked it or what, but I'm trying to keep this thing straight because I can tell when it kicks in. So that's one thing I got, and I'll do the swag bag later. But side effects. I call them after effects because they're not really, I haven't had, just so you know, day after chemo, I haven't had any, no nausea at all, okay? What I have had is neuropathy, and they say it's usually in your toes and in your fingertips. So what it feels like in Minnesota, if you do something stupid, like it's 10 below, and it's like, I'll just go out and blow the driveway off with a snow blower. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Without gloves, I can, I can do this. I'm I'm a tough guy. Blow off the driveway, and you come in the house, and you look like G.I. Joe. Like, I don't know how to. And then it starts to thaw, and you get that tingle. Right? Has anybody gone through that? Only for dumb people. It's a tingling, and I hope it happens while I'm shooting because I can tell when it's happening because I just take my phone and I go like this. And I get bing, ding, ding. So other side effects. So I mentioned part of my chemo was a steroid. I got home right after chemo. First thing I did is I sat down here because I wanted to shoot a video right away. Hey, you guys, I'm done with chemo. Woo, it's fine. But I was like so over the top. It's like, I can't post that. People are going to think I'm nuts. So there was one side effect that as I'm sitting there, I said, Madison, what do you, and she was so sweet. She was like in her 20s, you know, great, great staff, nurse. I said, Madison, look at my eyes. I don't know if you can, but there, it's not doing it now, but I'm going to try to simulate it. I was just having twitches in my lower eyelids. And she's like, okay, I've never seen that before. And she's like, she's like, yeah, you are weird. I'm like, I know. So, and we laughed about my twitches, and my fingers were doing this, you know, just, she said, you know what, it's probably the steroids. I'm like, all right, I get it. Other side effects. Oh, during chemo, I had to unplug my IV. It's got a pump on it, right? I had to unplug that and do and go out and pee like 4 times. And people were making fun of me about that too. It's like, there was a lady sitting here and we hadn't talked, but I'm like, I have to pee again. And she's like, well, that's your 4th one. I'm like, I know. So this is how you start a conversation. I don't know. But what else? Side effects. When I first got home, I have a soda stream, right? And I have filtered water in my fridge. I took a glass of cold water, and kind of the same thing as the neuropathy, you know, and they said sensitivity to cold if you drink something, but it's like, whoa, it wasn't painful. It's just like, wow, that was interesting, you know. What else? Toe cramps. I actually had this during chemo. I had to stand up and, you know, do exercises kind of like I do, you know, calf raises, you know. And so I bent my toes like this and bent them the other way. And because, yeah, it was like my toes were like, and I'm like, oh. And it happened last night when I was sleeping. It's like, ow, ow. So I just bend down and just, you know, pull back on them. And it was, you know, not a big deal. I think that's it. So it's the day after chemo. They say days 3, 4, and 5 are the worst. Okay, that's why I went to Aldi and did all this. I had to lift my heavy bags, and it builds the upper body. If you carry them like this, it builds the pecs. And, you know, that's why I did my Aldi run today, because I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. Okay, so, yeah, so not bad at all. I think in the next video, this is long enough for now. In the next video, I'll talk about the swag bag that they sent me home with. And this is one of the things that they sent home with me. So anyway, I'm feeling fine, you guys. You know, no nausea, no. And I don't mind this because it tells me that this thing is working. Like, I was hoping this thing would kick off while I was shooting the video, but so I'm afraid there might be a kink or something that's, or maybe I'm not getting side effects, which is cool. But yeah, it's a weird thing. Okay, so anyway, gotta go. I gotta put the canned goods away. Thank you. Bye.